What is the bar, Bob, for them taking a look at this again or getting this back into court? For them to say, yeah, you can come back in. We got the letter that was uncovered detailing the abuse by the father that was written way back. Um, there's the Menudo, some of those boys that have come out and said, what happened to them. What kind of bar needs to be met to get a retrial on something like this?
I mean, essentially, if it's not a so if they came in on a writ, I mean, it's got to be newly discovered evidence that really wasn't available to the attorneys or
Yeah.
at the time that the trial happened. You know, I mean, it's got to
Right.
be truly newly discovered. And I don't know if that'll reach that bar. It might, like
Mhm.
depending on like where did they discover these letters? I don't know.
Well, the new evidence emerged. It was a letter from Eric to his cousin with allegations of sexual abuse by Roy Reselio. This is from the Menudo member. So there was these communications that went back and forth that were never introduced into court, never introduced into evidence. I didn't even know they existed until several years later. I believe a lot of it was uncovered when the Menudo documentary came out last year. That really kind of brought a lot more of this to light. So I
I
mean,
mean,
there.
was that essentially because like finally there was like an outcry from like the members of that band who were like, yeah, this dude was a an absolute predator, like sexually abusing us. You know,
I
I mean, is
don't
that
know.
where they come?
I don't know the answer. I watched the doc, but it's been about a year now since I watched it.
Yeah.
But I believe it was he wanted to come out and tell his story and wanted to tell the story of the band and really just kind of expose essentially in like a Me Too sort of way. The darkness of what everybody thought was just this bubblegum pop happy time, and
Yeah.
in doing so, ended up connecting the dots with the Menendez brothers. I believe, if I remember correctly, he didn't even connect those dots at the time. But then it all just kind of started to come to light of, oh God, well, they never even got that part of their story heard in court. And that is the crux of the whole case.
It really is. Yeah. You know, I mean, clearly I'm sympathetic.
Sure.
And obviously, I mean, you know, it corroborates their story, right? I
Hmm.
mean, that's the part that matters. So I think that anybody that you know has a conscience would realize whatever time they've served at this point is probably ample.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever the case may be, you know, if I'm the state's attorney in that case, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, all right, you know what? Are we gonna spend a bunch of taxpayer money forcing another trial on this where we're gonna allow this evidence to come in? Or do we just want to look at it and say, all right, uh, we're we're gonna offer like an Alford plea, let these guys out. You know, we'll still have the conviction. And, you know, if I'm them, I'm taking it. You know,
Sure.
this isn't like a West Memphis 3 situation where they denied committing the crime,
Hmm.
you know, and they're out and then they have problems now because they took the alpha plea to get out.
Hmm.
You know, now they're not in prison anymore. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
West Memphis 3 guys, you know, but now they've taken an Alford plea where
Hmm.
they've admitted guilt and you know it creates an issue for the Menendez brothers. Like at this point, they just want to get out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they'll. I imagine like financially that you know the minute they get out, they'll probably make a pretty penny with some documentaries that come right down the pike. So they
Sure.
could probably get on their feet pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And we can consider it to be, you know, if you're not in favor of vigilante justice, and you know, it's like it's a slippery slope. It's like you know, I'm always like, if somebody ever came after my kids or abused my kids, like it's hard to say what I would do.
Oh, me too.
You know what I mean?
I
So
think it'd
it's
be a
like
topic of one of these shows. Someone else will be
yeah,
hosting at that
exactly. You
point.
know, as a father, you
Yeah.
know, like I get it. I get the concept. And, you know, and if you're a child that's got the ability to be able to stop this horrific abuse, not just of yourself, but
Mhm.
of others, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
really putting a stop to a monster.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's sympathy there. Like, I think that there's going to be people that are like, they've served more than enough time
Yeah.
in light of the person or the people that they killed.
And it was really money and power that protected their father from ever being found out at that
100%.
point in time, along with the.
That's what it always boils down to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Follow the money, man. Follow the money.
Yeah. It'd be fascinating to see where this goes because I think a lot of good could come of them getting out. And
Yeah.
just, I mean, raise more awareness for this fact that these sort of things happen, and
Yeah.
there's so much of it that gets swept under the rug, and it's right under our noses
Yep.
the whole damn time.
Yeah, let me put it this way. In terms of really old cases, I think there's a much higher likelihood the Menendez brothers are walking out of prison rather than Scott Peterson.
Yes, that's another one. Yeah, that is another one. But that has been fascinating to watch, and see. It's one of those two where, like, let's just play with everything on the table, and
Yep.
that's why it's so important that all that does get on the table the first time. So we're not sitting here 20, 30 years later going, well, maybe just to be fair, we should do this. Um,
Right.
but very different circumstances with the
Yep.
Menendez brothers.
100%. Very, very different circumstances. Like one, you can see why they should come out. The other one, you got to really be sold on it.
Yeah,
And there's just like his story, Peterson's story is almost as difficult to stomach and believe as the first case that we talked about,
sure.
Shaver.
Yeah,
It's a tough pill to swallow
it is.
both ways. So
Yeah. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.